full contact, yeah? Gum shields in, let's go. And there's certain players that don't enjoy touch, so they feel like they're not getting to showcase their talent.
I think there'll be a few bigger boys licking their lips to get stuck into it.
So you've just got to go flat out. Obviously you want to impress the coaches as well. So managing 15s and 7s at the moment, it is quite full on, I'm not going to lie.
I think from what everyone's been through in the past year, I think everyone's hugely grateful to be here and given this opportunity.
We don't need to be the best in the world right now. We've still got 100 odd days to do that.
It's just the want and will to work for each other. That's 7s, that's what it is. We can fluff it up in a million different ways, but that's what it's about.
I first played rugby when I was about 8 years old, I think. I started because my brother played in Glencoe in Scotland. Played for a few years but then stopped when I was a teenager because nobody else played and there weren't enough girls. So I started skiing competitively. Was selected to be in the Scottish ski team from maybe 12 till 16 or 17. Absolutely loved it, and rugby wasn't on my mind at all. I was never going to make the Olympics with skiing, so I thought I'll go to uni, and then went along to the first uni session and just didn't look back. Last week I was initially in Edinburgh with the Scotland women with the 15s group, training ahead of our first Six Nations game against England.
Having the women involved in the Six Nations is fantastic. Like, it gives them an opportunity to keep playing elite rugby. It does obviously bring some challenges in terms of bringing that squad together and us having sort of full control on what they're doing programming wise. We know that the girls had some concerns with getting their 7s lungs back and their fitness side of things, so we're working closely with those 15s clubs and the conditioners within those environments and the international environments to make sure we gauge that transition and make sure it's appropriate for each individual, so that when we get fully into the 7 setup, we can get it going in the right direction and how we want it to be.
My flatmate Helena also plays for Loughborough Lightning for England 15s, then is also part of the extended squad for Tokyo. We see a lot of each other, obviously on the pitch and then back at the house as well. When we're back at the house, we don't talk too much about rugby, because otherwise it could totally take over and kind of consume your lives. And what kind of happens on the pitch, I think, stays there, and then we can laugh and joke about it back home. So managing 15s and 7s at the moment, it is quite full on, I'm not going to lie. 7s is just a lot more high speed. The high speed running meters you cover in a training week are huge. Because there are less people on the field with 7s, it's really kind of that individual skill set. It really, as you say, has like the platform to be shown, and you can make that however you want to as a player. I mean, going to the Olympics is literally, it would be a dream come true. Being part of this group is a massive honour, and I'm just going to put in every little bit of effort and all the hard work I can to try and make that final squad.
Although we are all competing against each other, like, we're all working for the same goal, which is Team GB winning a medal. Like, that's a much bigger goal than anybody's individual ambition to go to the Olympics. So we're all just building each other up and pushing each other to our limits so that we can be the best as Team GB. And I think culture in 7s especially is massive. You develop that off the pitch and then you implement it on the pitch.
We've been on a bit of a journey already to get to this point over the last few months with the virtual sessions. So much of what this GB journey is about over the next few months is about this bigger team.
Does success breed culture, or is culture the thing that has to start it? So I think for any successful team there's also a good culture, so it's really important to us that we kind of create that, and I think it leads to strong bonds on and off the field.
No! Last pass, come on boys!
It's got to come from the players, because if you don't believe in certain values, you're not going to abide with them every day. Like, we come away, we come back as a camp, so when we're away we've got to believe that everyone is putting 100% into those values, and when we come together then just to bring it together and then onto the pitch.
Everyone has that appreciation of being here and how lucky we are to be doing our sport and getting to do what we love with a massive opportunity, the Olympics ahead of us, where it's such a fine line between some boys that aren't here and what they're facing and what we're facing. So to be open and honest about that sort of stuff as well is quite important to boys. Knows that the success of this programme can hopefully lead to something bigger.
It's the non-moving thing's the hardest thing to beat. we need to be a team, but we can't be in the same room for too long for any long period of time. So how do we create that culture of being together all the time and creating those moments where we can like have those conversations?
I said to him, don't worry about it. If there's anything comes near you, I'll come and tidy it up.
And I think the most important thing is I've got to push as much as them to drive it as they can. If it comes from me, then it's my voice the whole time in a Zoom, in a meeting, when we can be together on the field. The more I can drive them to be leaders within their groups, have the conversations, challenge them, say, well, have you spoken to this player about this? The more I can get them to do that and open themselves up to be vulnerable and say, well, I need help with this. And instead of asking me, ask another player, because that's much more powerful for them.
We should have everyone running all the options, and you can last minute pick the right one.
Building culture is, if it's forced upon you and told this is what you have to do, it will not happen. But a feel and everyone buying into it. So it's a lot of people having conversations with people you don't know.
Let's run this!
Have chats, not just about rugby, about life, getting to know people, where they're from, what their life's like, how they're finding training.
If you can understand their individual desire to be involved in the programme, you get to know them on a different level as just a player.
Our line was really good. It was really good, but then we just let him have an easy out because we're on the inside of him.
It's really important that you allow the players to express their opinions and push forward what they see as the right behaviours, because otherwise everything falls apart straight away.
I sort of wake up every Friday at home absolutely knackered. It's our day off and I go, damn, I wish I was back in camp training. So I think that sort of sums it up.
I think there's a lot of good people that want to achieve something special. So when you've got that, it's a pleasure to coach them.
It's been absolutely seamless, like bringing Scotland, Wales, England together. It definitely, I think if an outsider came in, I don't think you would know that we were 3 different countries. I think you would just see Great Britain, which is such a good place to be in.
It'll be the first week that we've brought the contact elements into it. It'll be in small blocks, so in training you can sort of monitor and change the situations to create opportunities for the players to get those contact opportunities. So,
obviously you don't want to be smashing each other every single day, but at the same time rugby's a very physical game. Like, you look at the best teams throughout the World Series over the last 5 years, normally the most physical team or the most physically dominant team comes out and wins. You can pass the ball around, you can look really good and have lovely shape, but then when you come down to tackling and rucking and stuff like that and you're not in it, there's no point.
So doing full contact in our training is hugely important. Like when we play games, we're obviously at full contact, and the contact that you experience in sevens is so different to what we do in 15s, which is what we've all been doing all year. So you're making your tackles in a lot bigger area. You're expected to be back up on your feet quicker. The rucks are quicker. It's a lot more physical. So I think we're making a start to this week, and everybody's pumped. Everyone's really excited about it.
There is obviously a risk element to contact within training. But it's also part of the game. We can't shy away from that. We have to bring a competitive nature to training, especially with the lack of competition we're going to have in the build up to Tokyo. So I think the reward outweighs that risk, to be honest. And we know that along the way there will be some injuries that happen. We're fortunate enough to have a great medical team in place to deal with any injuries that come on, and you get to see the players doing what they love, playing the game of sevens with that contact element. And there's certain players that don't enjoy touch, so they feel like they're not getting to showcase their talents. So you put it in, and ultimately when we get to Tokyo, it's going to be a full live game. So we need to see what the players can do in that environment in different combinations.
Delighted to be with you all, and can I say congratulations. The challenge is that you all have your own journey to come and be part of a GB side.